All right, for this one, I want you to imagine we're all sitting around a campfire. The only light you've got is from the screen right in front of you. Because the story of Elias Thorne, well, it isn't just a story, it's a warning. It's a real, chilling lesson about what it actually means to be forgotten.
So let me just ask you, right now, what is it that truly scares you? Seriously, think about it for a second, because your answer, it's right at the heart of this entire tale.
Is it the thought that one day, everything you've ever done, every person you've loved, every memory you've made, will just be gone, wiped clean? Or is it the fear of your physical being, your actual self just ceasing to exist? The story of Elias Thorne is about a man who was forced to face that exact choice.
So, our story, it takes place in this little town called Oak Haven, and Oak Haven had a pretty strange way of dealing with its dead. This brings us to a place called the Vault of the Forgotten. Think of it like a social cemetery, and its one and only keeper, the night curator, a man named Elias.
Now, the whole point of this place is what makes it so creepy. This wasn't a tomb for bodies. It was a tomb for legacies. A windowless room with stale air where people's stories went to rot. And Elias, he kind of liked the quiet. At least he did at first.
But that silence, it didn't last. It started to break, not with a bang, but with this low, deep hum. The kind of vibration you feel deep in your bones. And that was just the beginning of the unraveling, when the world Elias knew started to come apart at the seams.
And you can see just how the strangeness started to ramp up. It wasn't some sudden shock. It was this slow, creeping dread. On Tuesday, a pair of glasses are just outside their crate. He puts them back, no big deal, right? But on Wednesday, there they are again, sitting on his desk. And by Thursday, forget about it. The shadows themselves, the basic laws of light and dark, had just stopped playing by the rules.
And the weirdness just got worse. The aisles between the shelves would sometimes seem to stretch on forever. But the creepiest part? Oh, for sure, it was the mimicry. He'd walk and he'd hear his own footsteps echoing back at him, but with this tiny, perfect delay. Like something was right behind him, silently learning how he moved.
And then there was this cold. I mean, a truly unnatural, biting cold. The building's heat was working just fine, but right around certain crates, the temperature would just crash, all the way down to -4 degrees Celsius. It was a cold that didn't feel like it came from the air. It felt like it was radiating out of the forgotten memories themselves.
And it all came to a head one night, with one single, terrible mistake. Elias was sorting through a crate from way back in 1894, and he picked up this old silver-backed hand mirror, and he made the fatal error of looking into it. He didn't see his own reflection. He saw them, the forgotten. In the mirror, standing right behind him, were dozens of gray, featureless figures. And think about why. They didn't have eyes, because no one remembered what color they were. They didn't have mouths, because nobody spoke their names anymore. And then came the whisper. But it wasn't a sound he heard with his ears. No, it was like 1,000 dry, crackling voices speaking all at once, right inside his head. A chorus of the unremembered, all saying the same thing: "We are the debt you haven't paid."
See, this wasn't about ghosts wanting revenge. They didn't want his life. It was so much worse. They were starving for an identity. They wanted his memories, his name, his history. And as this horrifying realization washed over him, the shadows in the room started to peel off the walls, pouring across the floor just like spilled ink. So of course, Elias panics. He turns, he runs for the door, but it's already too late. The vault wasn't just trapping him, it was actively rewriting reality to keep him there, to erase him completely. And just look how it happens, step by horrifying step. First, his way out. Gone. The door just melts into a solid, seamless wall. Then he reaches for his phone, his connection to the world, and his pocket is just full of dust. He tries to ground himself, to scream his own name, but he realizes he can't even remember the year he was born. His own history is dissolving. And finally, his physical body starts to give out. His skin goes thin, translucent, like a piece of old, forgotten paper.
And this might be the most chilling part of the whole thing. His entire existence, his life story, gets filed away like some kind of cold, bureaucratic inventory report. Name, deleted. Physical form, dissolving. His purpose in life, just listed as absorbed. Another forgotten echo for the collection.
So, the next morning comes. The sun rises, the head archivist shows up for work, and there's nothing. No sign of a struggle, no police tape, just this heavy, profound, and deeply unsettling quiet. The kind of quiet that means a person didn't just disappear, they were never there to begin with.
So what's left? The desk where Elias sat just hours before is now caked in a thick layer of dust. The duty roster has a literal blank space where his name should be, and in the vault there's a new crate, no number on it, with just a single brass key inside. And the archivist, for just a second, she feels this weird sharp pang of sadness for a person she can't remember ever knowing, and then poof, the feeling's gone.
So we end up right back where we started. Elias Thorne wasn't murdered. He was deleted. His story became an empty crate, and his identity became just another whisper in the dark. Which brings the question back to you. After hearing all that, what do you think is the truer horror? To have your entire story erased from the world, or to simply, physically fade away into nothing?